Hey guys, and welcome back to another Conan Exiles video. Today we are in the Northern Highlands, west of the Great Dam, building a Warrior's Monastery. This build was suggested by Narrow Clan on my Argosian Watchtower build guide, so thank you for the suggestion, Narrow. As with the last few videos on the channel, this build was previously streamed live on Twitch, so go ahead and drop a follow over there to get a look behind the scenes when I'm next live. Before we get started though, we do of course have to thank the sponsors, NordVPN. If somehow you haven't heard of them before, NordVPN offers one of the best rated VPN services available, featuring super fast servers in 60 countries, no data logging, 24/7 customer support, double data encryption, the ability to unlock region lock content including Netflix, ITV, BBC iPlayer and such, and more to ensure you always stay safe on the internet. With unlimited bandwidth, a lightweight Chrome browser extension, and the ability to use Nord on up to 6 devices simultaneously, including mobile devices, NordVPN is the best way to protect yourself on the internet. It's simple to use, one click and you are both connected and protected. NordVPN is great and it's one of the best ways to support me. Each video I make takes roughly between 8 and 12 hours to make, so when you purchase NordVPN through my link you really do help me out a ton. You can get 70% off NordVPN when you visit nordvpn.org/iradYT, or use code iradYT at checkout, which comes out to $3.49 a month, or about £2.80 if you're in the UK, which is a great price for the service. As always, a massive thanks to Nord for sponsoring the video. So, seeing as this build ended up actually being quite long, I think the raw video file is about 45-50 minutes long, this is indeed a speed build. So, without further ado, let's get started. As with all of my speed builds, I'm going to explain my ideas behind this build, the lore, and the design, and any other elements that went into construction. Firstly, whilst the actual blueprint of this build is very simple, it's something I think I've done quite a few times now, I made a small sketch to show my idea for the build, which you can see on screen now. It's a simple design that, as I said, I've made before, but I think these sort of tiered tower designs work quite well for things like monasteries or small temples, and definitely give them an air of importance. The suggestion from Narrow asked for a fusion of Yamatai and Khitan in this build, which is actually quite easy to mix together. Whilst Yamatai is a very cold, clean material and Khitan is a very warm textured material, the fusion of white Yamatai and the midtones of Khitan does work quite well. It also helps that both Khitan and Yamatai take influences from Asian architecture, so a lot of the decorative items from both packs work really well together without contrasting too much against each other. The roof and awning pieces are also almost identical, save for a slight tonal difference, both being grey tiled pieces that help to offset the warm midtones of Khitan and the cold minimalist style of Yamatai. My idea for this build was to create a tower that is close to New Asagarth, yet far enough away to seem separate from the city. Whilst the Yamatai and Khitan material palette does make the tower seem quite separate from any nearby structures, in terms of architecture at least, its positioning across the Great Dam and ability to view both New Asagarth and most of the surrounding area of the city allows the tower to work both as a monastery and a watchtower to defend the city. The lore idea behind this build is that warriors from the Heirs of the North that live within New Asagarth sacrifice their culture, family and religion to devote their lives to training in the brutal art of combat that the warriors at the monastery study, and to defend New Asagarth from any potential attackers. Due to both the positioning of the monastery and the baptism by fire way of life that the warriors that live within it undertake, the training is endless and fraught with danger, with new recruits often sent deep into the frozen north or to the mounds of the dead to slay the various beasts that hunt within those areas. So I think that's about all for the construction phase. As with all speed builds, I'll be coming back in for the furnishing phase where we'll walk through the finished build. Of course, don't forget you can get 70% off NordVPN when you use my link in the description, and you can also get the best servers for some of the best games from Host Havoc using my link, again in the description. So with that, enjoy the rest of the construction phase, and I will see you in the furnishing phase. Finally, when the shell of the build was done, it was then time to, of course, furnish. Approaching the monastery, I've created a large staircase at the front of the build. I was initially going to force the guards to climb the monuments that this monastery is built on top of. However, seeing as the stairs actually face towards New Asagarth, it doesn't seem too much of a security concern. I've lit the outside of the tower with Khitan braziers and the inside with hanging Khitan lamps. I've also included some large Argosian statues on the sides of the monument, though in retrospect it may have been better to create large brazier towers, or perhaps Turanian statues. The Poseidon-like statues from the Argosian DLC do look very nice, but I'm not sure it suits this build as well as I thought it did initially. Entering the tower, we first reach the grand dining room. I've tried to stick with the minimalist style for this build, as the warriors within the tower would be giving up pretty much all of their luxuries to defend New Asagarth. The dining room is set up with tables on either side and the monastery leaders on the far side of the room, with a large campfire in the centre of the room, where animals hunted during expeditions are cooked in front of the warriors. Heading up, we reach the first floor, which are the bedrooms. These warriors live, breathe, eat and often die together, so of course they would all sleep in a communal bedroom. I decided to stack the beds atop each other in a sort of pseudo bunk bed format, which I think actually worked quite nicely. I've also included a fountain in the middle of the room. Whilst the warriors do give up all luxuries, water is a luxury they kind of can't really afford to give up. Heading up again, we reach the second floor. This is the workshop where arrows, swords, axes, spears and all sorts of other weapons are made for the warriors. This is a small workshop, but serves the purpose of this monastery well. Heading up to the third floor, this is the roof where guards can watch over New Asagarth and the surrounding areas. Again, there is another fountain on this floor, so there is no need for the guards to actually leave their post. And there we have it, a Warrior's Monastery in the Northern Highlands, west of the Great Dam. Thanks for watching, and thanks again to Narrow Clan for the suggestion. I think this build came out alright, though I think my idea of a monastery might have manifested a little differently than what most would think of. However, I do have another monastery suggestion on the list that I'll be tackling eventually in due time, and I'll be trying to approach it in more of a religion focused aspect, with less of a tower design, probably more like a citadel, whereas this monastery is instead focused on the protection of the home of the heirs of the north. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a like and let me know in the comments below if you have any build suggestions for future videos. As usual, absolutely anything is welcome. Don't forget to both follow me on Twitch and join the fun on our Discord through the links in the description. And don't forget you can get 70% off NordVPN when you use code ERADYT at checkout, or you can go through my affiliate link in the description and the pinned comment below. YouTube is currently my full-time source of income, so if you enjoy the content and would like to help support the channel so I can continue to put out the best content possible, do consider becoming a patron. There are multiple tiers of support from $1 to $20, offering many different benefits from a mention in every video to Discord roles, and even sneak peeks of every new video before anyone else. During the lockdown, most of us are still in. The video previews that are usually restricted to the $20 tier will be open for the $10 tier as well, so everyone's got a little bit more content to enjoy. The link to my Patreon is in the description, so if you'd like to support the channel, feel free to consider becoming a patron. On that note, a thanks to our patrons Sammy, Sir Dialot, Randar, Dawnfox, and MK Pantheon. If you're new here, feel free to check out the rest of the content on the channel. There are new Conan Exiles videos coming every Wednesday and Sunday, so if you like what you see, subscribe and ring the notification bell to be the first to see the next video, and to join us on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.